Okay. We got 30 minutes on the clock. Y'all can see that, right? Yeah, let's go. Let's begin. This is episode 17, and this is going to come out on September 29th. But today, it is September 22nd, which is when episode 16 comes out, and it's Monday, and there's just plenty of things that I'd like to talk about. So, let's get into it. So yeah, I'm not playing bass. I thought I was. I wanted to, but there's other things that I'm going to play. And I could still play my bass, but yeah, not in a band. That's neither here nor there. At least not now. Again, maybe the cards will play out for me another day. Anyway, sobriety check-in. How is tapering going? Okay, tapering's so tapering is it's all right. A couple weeks ago, like in the beginning of September, after my camping trip, I had started tapering and writing down like how much I would smoke. And from the first time that I was tapering to this time, which is like the fourth time, and I say it's like the fourth time I'm tapering since the beginning of September, and it's like, September 22nd. So it's been like here and there. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, I had multiple tapering sessions instead of like one cohesive tapering session because this is how I sober up. This is how I gain information, and that's just okay. Um, Years ago, when I was sobering up from alcohol, I also had tracked inconsistently for a while before I got better, and then I slowed down, took some hits here and there, and then completely stopped. Um, and then last year, I stopped smoking marijuana carts, disposable vapes, disposable carts, in a similar fashion of like the first couple of days, just like witnessing where I am, and then um, over the course of like the next couple of weeks, stopping. Um, and I don't know how long it took, maybe like months, to be honest. Um, and that's me tapering back in the world. I don't have like a rehab center that I'm going to or anything that I can afford. So yeah, I feel like sometimes people are really hard on me on how I should be sober, and that's like something that I get really stressed out about because it's like and I don't know, maybe I talked about this last week too, but I feel like it's a continuous topic that I of course deserve to talk about as I'm tapering back. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times people expect me to be like perfect on sobriety when it's like they don't even expect that much from themselves. So it's like, what's all this? What's all this then? Yeah, so yesterday I started tapering for the fourth time, and the first time that I was tapering, I had 8 minutes between sessions. And the second time that I was tapering, I had 20 minutes between sessions. Like that was the first session to the second session, and then like second to third is obviously going to be more time, and then third to fourth, so on and so forth. And I have all the information on my phone where you guys are. And the second time, yeah, I had 20 minutes as my first time, and then 47 minutes for my third tapering time for my first to second session. So yeah, on that third tapering session, I thought like I was doing it really well. It was for a couple of days, but I always get like the high and the lows, um, and so yeah, like that just might be bipolar, to be honest. But like it's like uh, rapid cycling. Yeah, I mean it happens. Uh, I think I also have like bipolar too. So the highs aren't as high as some people's and the lows aren't as low. Oh, chemical imbalances, am I right? Anyway, um So yeah, I started to taper for the fourth time, and I got an hour and 47 minutes in between first and second session. And yesterday, like the longest sessions or like in between sessions was like 5 hours. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow's supposed to be my first rehearsal day, so I feel like that'll help with sobriety as well. I just feel like that's been helping with a lot of things. Anyway, Monday recording sessions, we're back, right? Yeah, so when I post this, it will be 1 year sober from weed carts, which is crazy. I did not expect that at all. And yeah, I've just been having like a really tough time in general. So to get a sober streak for like electronic things, it feels good. And yeah, earlier in the podcast, I had conversed about um, the 1 year anniversary of sobriety, no, 2 year anniversary of sobriety from cigarettes and alcohol on September 1st and September 9th, respectively. And yeah, in a month or like less than a month now, it will be 2 years sober from nicotine carts. And so from quitting cigarettes to quitting nicotine carts, it took a while. And it felt easier because like cigarettes and nicotine was never my drug of choice. So to get sober from marijuana carts and to stay sober feels great because when I am around people who have marijuana carts, weed carts, I'm like staring at them and I'm like, I feel like everyone's noticing me staring at them. And I'm always hyper aware of it, especially when I'm like tapering from other things and I feel like sick and I'm like, oh, I really want to smoke, but I don't want to make a big deal about this. Uh, yeah, there's just so many thoughts in my head. Yeah, that's 1 year sober from marijuana vapes. So I think from where I was last year to where I am this year from bud, flower, I think I'm doing great. So yeah, now we have the busking check-in, and ooh, I am not doing great on my busking check-in, but that is neither here nor there, folks. Yeah, I'm doing great on sobriety and music, and I feel like I'm getting in the flow of things with practicing again and just life in general with my podcast. This is going to be episode 17, and I just posted episode 16, and this has been going on for 17 weeks. Can y'all believe that? Like back to back. So, there is some kind of normalcy, some kind of flow that I've gained here, and I think like everyone around me has gained as well. Like I remember my comfortability in my first episode to now, I definitely am more comfortable behind the camera than I was before. And yeah, I have 2 interviews under my belt, even though I've only posted one of them at this point. Um, I have the second one to post, and I'm very proud of that. And I already have the third one in the works and conversation, and I'm going to be planning the date for that soon after I post my second interview, so I can like post that and not have the storage on my phone, taking up the space. So yeah, busking is going to happen still. I have to continuously check in because I know there's people who want to see me busk, and also I get to like post more of that because I have my camera set up that I can bring, and there's people in Austin that want to see me busk, and I only have a couple more months in Austin, and it's almost October. Oh my God, like December we're gonna be out of here, and I will be back in Austin, but it's gonna be different. So anyway, October things. I don't really know. My interview for Alan, more podcasts, of course, hopefully busking, more rehearsals, more working on my album. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a performance here or there for my poetry. Maybe I can get a poetry performance in October in Austin by the end of October, right? And I can easily flip the switch and create a poem and rehearse it to be memorized in person. I think I'm going to take a break here. I don't typically anymore take a break in the middle of my podcast, but I really need to go to the bathroom. And then we got 20 minutes. So I think we're doing great, folks. Oh, God. Jeez. And my cup is fine. That's the great thing about these Bucky's cups. We got that on camera, folks. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. We're back and better than ever. Yeah, I really needed to go to the bathroom, and that's a great thing because I feel like I haven't been that hydrated lately, and we need to be hydrated. We're humans. We're 70% water, and the water should be inside of us and also outside of us. A continuous cycle, you know? Anyway, I wanted to take a break from my my podcast also, and I feel like this is another reason why I intensely needed to go to the bathroom, because I'm about to admit something so embarrassing and funny at the same time. And I'm not really sure who watches this podcast, so I'm excited to see what comes out of this admission, this secret that I get to share on my podcast. Because it is just a podcast about me, right? And my art and the world and the art and the process. And I'm really intrigued because I feel like, I have such a huge collection now. Like episode 17, like that's kind of random, but also 17 is such an important number to me. And, numbers in general are important to me. So I feel like, there's always meaning in every mundane little thing. So who knows what's going to come out of this. Anyway, um, Jason Sudeikis. Okay, first of all, what a writer, what a man, what a mind, what a soul. I love Jason Sudeikis. I just have to say that. Maybe I already just said that. I don't know. I think I could say that a million times, and it'll still be true the millionth time. But I think this also goes to the next topic, so I'll put them together. But my type of white man, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, Jason Sudeikis is my type of white man, and it's crazy because I was always like, Ted Lasso is so hot when I was watching Ted Lasso over the last couple of weeks, but I was wondering why is Ted Lasso so hot? And I feel like admitting this gets it off my chest and telling it to the world. It's so much bigger and bigger than me, even. But for the last couple of years, even my entire life, even I've indulged in my type of white man, and maybe this is exactly the place to unpack it because this talks about gender and society and love and sexuality and gender again, if I already mentioned that. But yeah, I think like when I was younger, I like forced myself to like men, forced myself, like when I was a kid, not men, but like boys. I think I had like crushes on girls, but I was like, this is not the normal thing to do, and I like freaked out because I saw how people were treating certain people around me, and they were white, and this is like Crown Point, Indiana that we're talking about, and I'm brown, and I'm like, if I'm brown and I'm already a problem, imagine how much of a problem I'll be if I'm even more of a minority. And so, I'm already thinking about society and the effects as a 7-year-old. And I was like, my type of white man can be something goofy and fun. And so then I found like someone that I probably just wanted to be friends with and was like, well, he's cute. Yeah. Um, and because I do vibe with the men that I keep around as like friends too, um and maybe that's been my problem. We can unpack those things. But Jason Sudeikis is definitely my type of white man, and I say that because like Ken Marino is also my type of white man, and he is in The Residence and also in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I never clocked him as my type of white man, Ken Marino, when I was looking at him as CJ in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because I was so focused on my type of white man. Um, Adam Samberg, also known as Jake Peralta in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and a juicy writer as well. And, he has The Lonely Island, and these are people I look up to. And also, they've been on SNL, Jason Sudeikis and Andy Samberg, and so has Pete Davidson, which is just insanity to me because Pete Davidson is also my type of white man. And so that makes me think about like Kim Kardashian and Ariana Grande, because Ariana Grande dated Pete Davidson, and who else is my type of white man? Mac Miller. I love that man's music, and I'm like, wow, what a talented individual who he was. Rest in peace. Um, and those are just my type of white men. And admitting this feels like I'm admitting a secret to a friend. Um, And oh, okay, yeah, let's move on. We can talk about my type of white man later. We can get into how deep my lore gets. I love The Lonely Island. I love listening to it on blast. That's my guilty pleasure. I love forcing everyone around me to listen to The Lonely Island, and also singing at the top of my lungs to those lyrics. Very autistic of me. That's just autism, you know. How do I feel about moving? Is that still going on? Well, it looks like it's still going on. See, and this is what's crazy. It's like the end of September at this point, and October is starting. So, like October, November, December, at that point, I'm in Houston, you know? Like, there's not much time left here. So, I've been like taking in every moment of juggling that I can. It's been nice because I probably won't get that as often as I'd like. Not in the setting that I'd like either. And, I think, you know, when I move to Houston, maybe I will get like some moments and it'll probably like feel better. Um, I don't know, there's just like so many things on my plate that I've been juggling, you know? So thinking about Houston is like, what do I even think about Houston? Like I think I can just like focus on rehearsal, focus on talking to musicians and like gaining more artistry in my life and yeah, slowing down also. Like, you know, one of my nails fell off, and last week I had shown y'all my nails, and literally like the day after, and like I had also done Kaomi's nails, and also her thumb fell off. And I don't know, I just felt like that was some solidarity, but also my nail was breaking anyway, so that was sad. So I got to cut it. I didn't bite it, so that felt good. You know, that was something that I had been like a habit I'd been trying to break this year because I had gotten the nail polish kit this year. So I definitely feel like it has been helping. It's been making me think more and also slow down because typically after one has fallen off, I want to pick the rest of them off. So yeah, that has been something that has been like a mind fuck for me because yeah, I have been doing better on that and it has given me more time I think in my life and like less anxiety. You know, like my life feels fuller in multitudes of ways. So yeah, that's how I feel about moving to Houston, I guess. Like it'll just come when it comes. I need to continue to study poets for my second book and I want to finish my first book. And you know, on top of busking and everything else that I'm doing, like that has also taken a seat back, which has felt okay. Um, I'm all right with that because I do like I'm going to publish my first book and you know maybe my first book and my second book and multiple other books will be like in progress to be published. And yeah, I feel like everything in my life is going exponentially up. And so I'm filling my time more these days. So yeah, I'm grateful for the podcast as well to keep me regular, you know. Um, Wow, and here's the next thing. Nail polish helps me not bite my nails, but when I take my nail polish off to reapply, oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So in the midst of like taking off my nail polish, so I'm glad that I wrote that down actually. Like, uh, yeah, when I take my nail polish off, there's like a huge like wants to bite my nails, but like I have been doing a lot better of not biting them. And I don't know if you had seen, you guys can see episode 16 for this if you want, or maybe you guys have good eyesight and for some reason you can see from that far. But yeah, my nails are longer on some nails and shorter on others, which is tragic. It was painful to have the nails break when they did, and they've grown out some. And you know it is like still a look like it's fine, but the nails broke because I have been applying gel nail polish to my nails for so long, and like luckily like because I do keep them on for longer, like it does protect my nails more. Whereas earlier, like in the year when I was using gel nail polish for so long, like and so fast, you know, like I'd rip them off too. Instead of like them falling off with like the erosion of the world, more of the nail would peel off with the gel nail polish. And I had not gotten so many gel manicures in my life, you know, so I just didn't know. So I feel like as time goes on, I improve in my artistry and my understanding of gel nails, and that helps like not cause so many problems with my community or myself, like my friends. If I do their nails, then it's safer. Also, like I feel like the nails that I've done have improved so much and I can do like better nails in shorter periods of time. Yeah, and I'm continuously impressed with myself, even if like I'm like you know the day by day subjective viewpoint that I have about my nails like changes day by day, anyway, so let's do a little step back. We're going to do a throwback, a walk in the past, which is exciting because, we don't always reflect as human beings, and we don't have to always reflect as human beings. Like, a lot of times we are moving forward, and so for the past, I guess, 17 weeks, I've just been building this podcast, from week one. And so now let's reflect. So week one, I had my podcast in my room, and that didn't feel that great, like that space is a very closed off space. And I feel like I'm just speaking to the house, and like a lot of those words just feel like they're trapped. And when we open the doors and when we open a window, yes, like the energy gets pushed out, or if we sage the house, like the energy gets cleansed, but if we speak outside, I feel like we're releasing those thoughts to the world. And that's another reason why I really appreciate doing the interviews on patios as well, because, we're sharing things in such an open space, and we're kind of just like letting them go and not letting them affect us so much, which is beautiful, and then we are surrounded by nature, or, the forces of the world, so we get more in tune, how we react to heat, or how we react to sunlight, or how our eyes adjust. It just allows us to be more aware. And so I feel like, allowing myself at least 30 minutes every week, it forces myself in a lot of ways to get vitamin D and to have more fresh air, to just be present and be one with the universe. So from episodes 2 to 17, these last 16 weeks, I have been on the patio, except for the podcast that was the interview, which is, again, neither here nor there. Even last week at Kayomi's patio, the one that I just uploaded, which was so much fun to me. Like that episode with Kayomi's dogs and Clementine, her cat. We were just being girls, and I'm not even a girl. I'm non-binary. Reminder for everyone that's watching the podcast and everyone in the world, my pronouns are he, they. And yeah, I'm transmasculine, just being non-binary, from being AFAB or whatever you'd like to call me. I don't know. I don't like using that term, but for societal terms and being understood, I guess I will use that. So yeah, let's talk about episode 7. Also, from episode 8 to 9, I started to use a pen to have like a color coordination. And even though like later in my book the color coordination changes, that's fine. Like, there's still like color coordinations happening. And even more so, like I have notes, like when I did Darius's episode, which is in the future. Actually, in this book I have a note that told me that I wanted to listen to his songs and watch his interviews, and I have check marks because I did them. And I'm so proud of myself for that, Anyway, so yeah, and I wanted to mention the thing about the pens and the, key of the colors, because on episode 7 I was not using that. So like, every week there has been changes and things have been good. And Darius was like, even mentioning that like I have mics, and I have mics because like my phone is far away, and I like using the 0.5 lens because you can see like the world that I'm surrounded by. And also like when I have like someone with me, like the viewpoint does not really change, or if I'm in a different setting, like the viewpoint doesn't change, so like I stay the same, like the common denominators are like the 0.5 and me, and also the audio, like it sounds the same, and I do like that. And if my audio breaks down, like I can replace these mics pretty easily, because these are like those fuzzy mics, it has like a buffer, so it doesn't sound like too poppy, and it also doesn't like take up too much of the energies from around the world. Although it's still picking that stuff up, it's picking me up because it's the vibration from my chest and I'm so close. So yeah, I've had my mic for quite some time, but I've also like had a relationship with my mic where like I've charged them, or on my way to San Antonio I was charging my mics that I didn't get to charge overnight, because you wake up and then you're on your way to San Antonio. So I'm charging the mic that I didn't get to charge up in my car. And so yeah, I'm quite impressed with myself. And also like in the future I know that like these mics are great and dandy, and they're also really cheap. But like maybe in the future when I get better mics, I can get a mic system that can connect multiple mics to one Bluetooth system, and maybe I won't even use my phone anymore. Maybe I will use my camera because I do have a camera that is a nice camera. And so then maybe I can do podcasts with bands, or not just like, one individual from a band. And so, yeah, on episode 7, we were talking about summer dive, and it was midsummer reflections. Like at this point, we're in the fall, and we're talking about like what is October gonna bring. And I've been really festive and bringing in the Halloween energy, but for me, Halloween is all year round. So this cup is my emotional support cup for the rest of my life, and I'm really appreciative of that. Like I've dropped it twice, but also that's because I've been using it so much. Like since I bought it, which was probably at the end of August with my mother, and I'm so grateful that she bought it for me, with me also. And she also, I'm so lucky, bought me a Halloween Bucky and a Bucky's shirt. Like every year, I get a Bucky's shirt for Halloween, and I don't always get a cup, and I will never get a cup again. And I really do like this Bucky's design because of the purple Bucky. It's also glow in the dark. And also, I do like the Bucky's design this year. I also indulge myself, and I like the Bucky's design every year, I will admit. Um, and there's always a Halloween Bucky, I think, but I don't ever get it. And I do have other Buckies, like I have the round Bucky that I really like. And I don't have like a regular Bucky, but that's fine. Like that's neither here nor there. That can be a later problem. I also have like a cowboy, like, brown and white cow print Bucky blankets, which is lovely. Anyway, so wow. Yeah, we were talking about art that raised me, and talking to my friends and how podcasting is a dream come true, talking about how I wasn't even 25 yet. Like now I've been 25 for a month. It's the 22nd of September when I'm recording this and when I'm posting episode 16. Like it's September 29th when this episode 17 of 2025 is being posted. And that's really cool, that in July 21st I was talking about like my birthday is about to happen, and my birthday has happened, and my birthday was better than it has ever been in my entire life. I'm talking very fast, but I only got a couple minutes left, but I probably will have a longer episode today than I typically do, which is going to be fine. So yeah, and on episode 7, I was talking about how different the podcast has been from episode 1 to now. And you do have to reflect on those things because podcast health matters. And sometimes people aren't reflecting with community, they're like reflecting on their own time, and that's fine too. But this is a part of why I wanted to have a podcast, and I just wanted to see what my energy will bring to the world, as I'm continuing to talk about these things. So yeah, that's episode 7. And I also wanted to touch on episode 13, which was Guy Shanks's episode. So yeah, I do feel like, from episode 13 to my second podcast with someone else, like my interview, my podcast had jumped in quality so much, which like I feel so bad for Guy Shanks, but also like I think, he was understanding completely, so that was my first interview. And what a wonderful friend, like, to trust me with that. Also, Darius, what a wonderful friend to trust me with getting an interview, because he hasn't done an interview in quite some time. He hasn't done a podcast in quite some time, and that is work that you've done in your repertoire that you can touch back on for the rest of your life, especially like with other artists. And so yeah, I feel grateful to be a part of Guy Shanks's repertoire, because he has been in like theaters, and yeah, he's a part of the community. People know his name. And Yeah, I'm gonna have my third podcast with my friend Alan, and he's a filmmaker. And I just feel like, I am touching on some wonderful community members. So that is episode 18, or sorry, 13. Episode 18 is with Darius. Episode 22 is going to be with Alan. And last week, episode 16, it was insanity. Last week was insane. And this episode, that I'm getting to record today I'm so grateful for it, because I feel like I do get to change the energy, and I get to live my life and spread my kindness and my joy like I always do. Um, and I get to show the world like what kind of person I am, you know? I think the biggest thing that we can do for others is be ourselves. And when we are ourselves truly, madly, deeply, and we love ourselves completely, like we would a friend, like we would a family member, like we would a crush, you know, like if we get obsessed with ourselves, truly life changes. And I can say in these last 17 weeks, life has changed. And I can only imagine like what, you know, 10 more months of interviews will bring, because that's 10 more interviews, and I'm already like thinking about my third one, and I'm already like working towards my fourth and fifth one. I'm like imagining in my head like who are community members, and that's 30 minutes, folks. Who are community members that I want to bring out into this world, you know? So next week is actually Defiance to Darius, you know, the DEFIN. I can't do it. I can't do it like him. DEFIANTDARIUS. Yeah, he's so good at rapping. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you off with a little beatboxing to show y'all where I am this week. Remember that when I beatbox for Darius next week, it's going to be before where I am this week. So, you know, because I'm recording this after that podcast. So, yeah, bear with me. I'm probably better than I was with Darius. I feel not embarrassed because, you know, I am human and I am practicing. I'm proud to bring you guys my art, and I'm proud to do it out in the world. And we should be practicing every skill that we have. Yeah, my frat snap on both hands. And let's see if I can. I think that's the closest I've ever gotten, actually. It's probably not as loud on the camera as it was in person, but I was like surprised. That's why I was like, whoa, let me drink some water, let me beatbox for y'all, and let me take y'all out. All right, y'all. Just a little simple beat for y'all. And you know, this is more just like a check-in point because I'll be practicing, but I won't always show y'all. And I will get better. You see, like I don't got that rhythm. Like I'm just practicing, y'all. Anyway, with that, I love y'all. You know what I'm about to tell y'all, party plebeians, party people, plebeians, and they mamas. Thank y'all so much for being here for episode 17. Uh, I had a name for this earlier today, but dude, do I remember it? It was like such a good name for it. I was like, um, yeah, you know what? We'll figure it out, and we'll have a thumbnail, and it's gonna look amazing, and we'll get better every week, like we always do. So much love. Thank you so much for being here. Love yourself. Love your community. Love your friends. Love the podcast. Engage in things you love. Educate yourself. Read a book. Read a book with community. Uh, have a potluck. Have a party. Host a party. Go outside. Breathe. Run. Wake up early or sleep in and stay up late. Get your work done. Do whatever it takes. Until next time, thank you so much for entering the fall with me. Until next time. Bye.